think I graded everything that everybody here turned in, and I'm really impressed. Everybody's doing real well in here. You guys are doing well. Let's see if I can get this laptop. Actually, let me see something here. Is that okay? Mike, let's admit you. Right. I'm going to see if I can share that, Tim, if I can find it again. Okay, here we go. You guys might get a kick out of this. Tim shared it with me.
T-Mobile 5G home internet slowing you down when everyone's connected.
It's not very long.
With that.
T-Mobile.
Well, okay. Here's our question. Why do hot dogs come in packages of 10 and hot dog buns come in packages of 8?
I don't know.
How did you find that? That's pretty witty.
Thanks for sharing that.
Oh,
Oh, hell yeah.
now we got more.
Do you want the answer?
Yeah.
Because prepackaged meats are offered by the pound and buns are sold in sizes of the pan.
Sizes of the pan. Oh, really? Huh.
You're smarter than the Dalai Lama.
That's
Yeah.
good, man. I didn't know that.
I just Googled it.
But you always end up wasting something, right? It's just
Well,
like-
one hot dog goes to a dog, so.
That's right. All right, cool. That was funny. Thank you, Tim. All right, so what's due tonight?
Was
The quiz. I moved it to tonight. Okay, so you guys can do it. Remember, it's open book, open everything, open internet, and you get 2 tries. And it's a tough quiz, I think.
That's a toughie.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Did you score pretty well?
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
missed 2 on the first one. but-
Oh, that's up.
Yeah.
Good. So anyway, it's due at midnight tonight. And what we're going to cover today is pretty much the same stuff, but get into a little bit more of functions.
I do want to say it helps me reread the chapter.
It's a good book, really. And if you guys take the next class, and I'll probably be teaching it next fall, 131. We're going to use the same book, so. So let's look. Here's 2 more questions right out of the quiz. So, function rand. You guys remember rand range, right? And what was the key to rand range? we had to import random, right?
yes.
And then we would say something like for I in rand range. Well, actually, I wrote this wrong. This is what I would say. From random, random import star. That's the way I still like to do it, even though they don't recommend that. And then you don't have to put anything here. Range. And if I said 1 to 2, what would I get here? And if I just said print I. Do you guys remember rand range didn't quite work like we thought? You have to add, if I want to get 1s and 2s, I have to make this 1 to 3, okay? Okay, so this will print you guys did this, or Tuesday, this will just print a bunch of random numbers, 1 and 2, it might print a whole bunch, like that, and just keep going. Well, that's gonna go, actually, this is only gonna go one time. We need to put this in another loop to get it. The way I wrote this is not very wise, because this is not iterable. This is just gonna spit out a number one time. Okay, so I would have to put another for loop, like for j in 1 to 10, I would say x equals rand range 1 to 3 and print x. But anyway, let's look at this and see if you guys can figure out this one. The function rand range, it's actually an E on there, generates pseudo-random numbers, so they're not actually random, they're based on the time, it looks at the time, the system time of your computer. And that's gonna change every second, right? Based on internal calculation that begins with a numeric value, known as a seed. In the following sessions, snippets, and this is if you're using the IPython, but you could just do the same thing, just ignore these ins here. You could do the same thing in the Python interactive terminal. Snippets 2 and 5 produce the same results purely by coincidence. Okay, so part A looks true to me. Part B, 2 and 5, they want to know which is false. 2 says random seed 32, and 5 says random seed 32. So it's producing the same results when I say for roll in range 10, print random.random range 1 to 7. So that's going to print 10 numbers between 1 and 6. And look at it, does it exactly the same. These two are the same sequences. 1, 2, 2, 3, 6, 2. So is this right? The results are purely by coincidence? Or is it because we did this command? Oh, sorry. So I think we don't even have to read any more of the other options. This is false. The reason we're getting the same numbers is we've set the seed to 32 both times. And then when we run it, we get the same results. Right? Okay. So this is one of the quiz questions. Here's a couple of other options that are true. When you're debugging logic errors in programs that use randomly generated data, it can be helpful to use the same sequence of random numbers until you've eliminated the logic errors. That's true. And you can use the random module seed function to seed the random number generator yourself. This forces rand range to begin calculating its pseudo-random number sequence from the seed you specify. So there's one question that you're going to get, and I have one more. I can get, there we go. Which one is false? Executing, and we're talking about functions now. Executing a return statement without an expression terminates the function and implicitly returns the value none to the caller. Okay, so if I had a function, where's my eraser? Let's look at a function here that returns nothing. I'm going to define it, I'm going to call it x, just for fun. And it's just going to say return, like that, with nothing. That's a function, it's a valid function. Okay, executing a return statement without an expression. So, normally we're going to say return, 5 or something like that. But this is just going to say return. So when I call x, down here I might just print x. And I called x like this, and I'm going to print the results. You guys could try this. It should print none. I would try it. I would open up Visual Studio Code and type this in and try it, see if it does that. And I think it's just going to print none. Somebody do it and let me know if I'm right.
it was doing that for me in the exercise.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, when before I figured out that was what was wrong with the code, was it needed the return statement.
Yeah, yeah, or it needed to return something.
Yeah.
Has anybody tried it? And you could do it in a terminal too. You could do it in the interactive terminal. See if we get it right. Who's the fastest typer in here?
Says none.
Says not. Okay. Thank you, Tim. All right. So this is true then. That's not false. Okay. How about this one? Hey, Alessandra. The following return statement first terminates the function, then squares number, and then gives the result back to the caller. Okay.
Terminates was a little suspicious.
So this is return statement first terminates the function, then squares the number and gives the result back to the caller. Does that sound right?
Does it terminate it?
Yeah. No. So this is the false answer right here. It doesn't terminate the function when it calls it. It executes everything in the function, returns it, and then terminates. Okay, and we're going to get into that today. So like this one here, the following code calls square. So we're saying print the square of 7 is, we call this function called square and pass it 7. So it calls this and first to get the answer, and then it prints the answer, which would be, what's the square of 7? What's 7 times 7?
49.
Yeah, 49. So it's going to say the square of 7 is 49. So it's going to call this and then return the answer and then print. Okay, so that's really what it does. And function calls can be embedded in expressions. Of course we can do that. Okay, we can put function calls, like this is a function. This is a function, the print function, and we've passed it an argument really. But you can put functions in expressions too. You could say something like, you could say if x is less than square of 7, do something. So this is an expression, right? This is an if statement that's gonna, and this is either gonna be true or false, right? Whatever the square of 7 is. And say I said x is 5. Is 5 less than the square of 7? Yes. So this is going to be true, and then it's going to execute these commands that are indented in the block. Okay. So any questions about that little review? And this is what we're going to try to cover today. I think we can get to everything today. I have one in-class activity for you. And then we're done, and then you guys have your quiz tonight by midnight. And it's 25 questions, I want to say. That sounds right. I think it's 25. Okay, so we covered this on Tuesday. Is this big enough for you guys to see? Should I make the font bigger? Seems a little small. Oops, go this way. Okay. All right, so we went over this stuff on Tuesday, but let's just review it for a second. So you guys know how to get help in the terminal window, right, on a function? You just type help in the function name. Let me pull up VS Code here real fast. Let me make this bigger for you. And if you guys look real fast, you'll get to see the answers to Lab 7 and Lab 8 here. Let's make this bigger. Okay. So I typed in Python here, and say I want to find help on the min function, which is a built-in function. You don't have to import any modules to run min, and that just gives you the minimum, okay? So I just type help and then whatever function I want right here. So it says min can take an iterable, which would be like a list, right? Or a tuple. These things in square brackets mean optional. Okay, so default equals object and key equals function. And so here's an example. Min, I pass it one argument, argument two. We're going to see what this means today. Star args. And it's going to return a value. With a single iterable argument, returns its smallest item. The default keyword only argument specifies an object to return if provided iterable is empty. With two or more arguments, returns the smallest argument. So, I could just say print, and I could put min in here, and I could say what's smaller, 3 or 10. And so it's just going to, this min function is going to return the smallest, so it's going to return 3, right? So we would print 3 in this case. But I could also pass it, this pin's coming out. I could say the min of this list, 1, 2, 5, 100, minus 1. I could pass it an iterable, I could pass it a list. And what do you think this would print? What's the minimum of a list with 1, 2, 5, 100, and minus 1?
1, 2, 5, 100.
What's the smallest? Yeah.
1 or minus 1.
Minus 1, yeah. So that's going to print out minus 1. So that's the way to get help. And suppose I wanted to get help on the rand range function. Can I just say help rand range? Oh, why is it giving me this error? Name error, rand range is not defined. What do I have to do first?
Import it.
Import it? Yeah. Import the random module. And now I can say I want help on the rand range function. Let's see. Oh, I have to do it this way. From random import star. There we go. Now I should be able to get help on the rand range. There we go. So it tells you how to use it. It says choose a random item from the range, start, stop, and an optional step. This fixes the problem with rand int, which includes the endpoint. So this one doesn't include the endpoint, which we found out. So if I just type rand range 1 to 2, that's going to just give me. Every time I run, it's going to give me 1. But if I put 3 in here, then it's going to go from 1 to 2. And every time I run it, it's going to just give me another random number between 1 and 2. Okay? So that's how you use help. We looked at just now at import random or from random import. You could just say import rand range if you just wanted to get one function. I just say star, which means everything. If I say from random import star, it gives me every function that's in the random module. But you could just import rand range if you want. Okay. Or you could say import numpy as mp. We didn't cover this, but numpy is a very, what do I want to say, a valuable module that you want to use if you're dealing with numbers of any sort. NumPy, it's built in, it's really powerful. And a lot of people say import NumPy as NP. So then when you call it, what you would say is this my good pen? So if I say, oh, there we go. From I said import, import NumPy as NP. I'm giving it a different name. I'm calling it NP now. So then I could say NP dot, there's probably a square root in there, I'm thinking. X, like that. X equals NP. Let's try, let's import NumPy real fast. See what we get. Let's say from NumPy, or let's see, import NumPy as NP. Okay. And now if I do a dir, look at all this other stuff I get from NumPy. Let's see here. This, I don't think, let's see. Let me import everything and then do a dir. Wow, look at all this stuff. So all these, once I imported NumPy, I got all these other functions now. Shuffle, I don't even know what that is. Stack, I know what that is. There's square, square root, split. There's a function called subtract. Trunk, probably truncate. So there's so many things, and you could type help on any one of these. I'm kind of curious if I type help on stack, what that does, because we're going to cover stacks. So let's type help stack. Joins a sequence of arrays along a new axis. Okay. That's not what I thought it was going to do. Okay. Oh, this is multi-dimensional arrays. Okay. So here, when they're given examples here, they're saying np.stack because we said import NumPy as np. We're just saying I want to import this module, but I want to call it np. So I have to put np for NumPy in front of everything. So they're calling np.stack with some arrays and an axis of 1. And then they're calling another method here. We're going to look into this today, when you can call a method on an object. But anyway, I just wanted to cover help with you guys and how to import. Okay. So we've covered the first 2 items. Does everybody kind of understand how to import modules and how to use them?
I was having a problem getting import NumPy.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Oh, are you working on your own computer?
Yeah.
You might have to.
Oh, I don't have the.
You might have to install it with pip.
Oh,
Yeah.
thought I had LPIP, but I'll check that out.
Yeah. If it doesn't work for you guys, go to the command line or open the
VPIP
terminal and type pip, which is Python install program. I think it is space install space NumPy. You might have to do that first, install the module. And you might get other problems like if pip isn't installed. Okay, we looked at making underscores, put those in a number just to make it more readable. So 6 million you could write like this. Because if you put commas in here, if you're trying to do the range of 6 million, remember the range function, the arguments are separated by commas. So this wouldn't give you the range of 6 million, it would give you the range from 6 down to 0, with the 0 as an increment, which I don't think would do anything. We looked at this, conditional expressions. So we're saying print A if x is less than 5, else B. And we're saying end equals a space separated by single quotes. So this is the same as doing an if then else. If A is less than 5, or if x is less than 5, print A, else print B. So this is a little more compact way to write things. This conditional. We looked at tuples, which are just sequences of numbers separated by commas but surrounded with parentheses. And remember, tuples are immutable. You can't change. You can't set this tuple to 5 and 6 and then go inside there and change the 5 to a 4. You can't do that. So it's immutable. That's what immutable means. That's called packing a tuple by creating it. Unpacking it is just to assign variables to it. So you just say x, y equals my tuple. That takes the first one, 5, and assigns it to x. The second one assigns it to y. Okay? And that is where we left off. So any questions about all this stuff up to here? Because we're going to go into new stuff now. Fernando?
What is Numpy again?
NumPy?
Numpy.
What is it?
Yeah.
It's just another module. It's a number. It's a module that you want to install if you're going to deal with numbers. And a lot of different. There's a whole bunch of different functions.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just.
You might have to do pip install NumPy though to get it.
You've
I tried that and it still doesn't recognize it.
Yeah.
Does it? Hmm.
I tried.
Go to
It installed
type
it.
in Control Z right there. Get out of that. Get out of that. Yeah. Now type pip install. Space NumPy. Oh, you got to use it up here. Just to replay that. Now type in NumPy right here. There you go. So you have to, my bad, get out of, you don't want to do it in the Python window. Exit out of that and get to your, does the prompt look like this? I'm trying to remember. Okay. Or I'll show you guys.
I did it without the % sign, it did install the thing.
Okay, so you guys want to, let me see, we get out of this. Okay, Control Z to get out of this. If you get to here, okay, let me clear the screen. So you would say pip at this prompt right here, install NumPy. And I've already got it installed. It should say like it's already installed. Yeah. No, it doesn't. It's not even recognizing pip for some reason on mine. But it worked for Fernanda just now.
And it worked for me.
And it worked for you. So now it's
NumPy still
installed.
doesn't work.
Once you're in the Python prompt, you type Python here, you should be able to say import NumPy as MP. Or you could say from NumPy import star. You can do either one.
Still no.
You did? And you installed it?
Yes.
Weird. So it went through, have you tried it, Fernanda?
Not yet.
Give it a try. Did it work for you?
It even lights the word up
Mhm.
at all, like.
Yeah, yeah.
type
It'll say
in
download,
NumPy.
yeah.
It
Boy, it's
looks like
slow.
it's gonna recognize it. It looks like it is, but not for me.
Okay.
I don't use it.
Requirement already
Now
sounds like,
import
okay, you
star.
already got it. Okay, so now just
NumPy
say
import
start
star,
NumPy.
or,
Okay, now do a DIR, or actually you gotta do it the other way, say from NumPy
I don't think it is.
space import
So,
star.
am I supposed to put it okay?
Okay, now type DIR with left and right strings. And you'll see all the functions. Those are all the functions you now have access to. To help on any of those. Yep, you got it. So it did. It worked.
I think it.
Most of the
it still has the same problem as me.
let's see success. Okay, now type. Oh, you got to fire back.
Okay.
Mhm. And now say from NumPy. Yeah. NumPy. NumPy. Import star. Star.
Oh, it's a version problem, I think.
Okay, now type dir, so left and right remains.
I bet this is 3.92.
Now you've got all these functions come with NumPy.
Oh, okay.
And you can even scroll up or down this. So now you can type help on any of those and it'll show you how to use it. So there's just a ton of numerical type function that you have. Yeah, you got it. So now if you type Python and then say,
So I did that.
if you say now, say from number, import start,
Terminal for monkey import and start and then
Import.
EXR.
and hit the start key.
No, I had an error before I got to go to the directory.
That's it. And then hit
But
VIR.
but for me,
VIR.
I gotta do, the message is telling me that I need to get a new
And
version.
just hit return.
So probably no more 3.9.
That's what I would say.
See all those functions you have now?
Yeah.
So all those came with NumPy. So it's working for everybody, it's working.
Except me.
Except for
Because
you.
I need probably a new version. Check this message out.
Oh, yeah, you probably need a new version.
Yeah, not supported in 3.9, I don't think.
Oh, yeah, so you could go,
It's time to update.
you could go over here and update. Oh, look, it's waiting for you to update. Where's the update? It's here. There's a way to update here somewhere. I can't remember where it is. Maybe it's health. Let's see.
When I've updated from the browser before, I think that it
Oh, check for updates here.
no,
No updates.
no, that's wrong. I can update it.
Hang on.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, you got it. It's there. Yeah, you got it. So I just typed from, you have to type Python first.
I had to type Python in first.
Yeah, and then get into to the Python terminal, and then
Sorry about that.
yeah, and then type dir, and then look at all these. Let me close this.
Why can't it be a word there?
There you go. And then you just do whoops. Come back down here. Let's type dir again. Yeah, so look at all the functions you got now available. Polyfit. That probably fits polygon to a function or something.
Thank you.
All right, so that was a good sidetrack. Okay, let's get back to the new stuff. So everybody, let me ask this again. That was a good question. Does everybody understand everything up to here now? It's okay, just ask questions. I mean, if you have questions, okay. Karen, you following all this stuff? All right. All right, let's get to some new stuff, and then, because this is our last class on functions, and then next week we're going to start with input validation. But we're going to be using functions the rest of the class, so it's important that you understand them. All right, so let's look at a few new topics. So let's look at this one right here. What the heck does this mean? If I say, I'm going to write a new function called average. I'm going to say def, I'm going to define it, right? And I'm going to say average. And I'm going to say args with a star right in front of it. Okay? So what, does anybody know what, if I put a star in front of this parameter here, what that means?
All of them.
So you would say, I'll show you what this means. It's a pretty cool trick.
It'll show all the arguments that are in the function, right?
Yeah, args. So this would return the average of the args. So basically this is saying, if you put the star in front of this one variable here, or this parameter, it means you can pass in any number of arguments when you call it. You don't just, you don't have to pass 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, you can pass in 5 or 10 or 100, okay? So if I called this and I said print, I just want to print it. I'll try it right now and I'll show you how it works. I want to print the average of 1, 5, and 10. Okay? So I passed it 3 different things, but here I've only specified 1 parameter, but I passed it 3 arguments. And what it's going to do is return all these arguments. Oh, I should have said the sum. Hang on. Return the sum of these arguments, which you can do like that, divided by the count of all arguments, right? How many there are. So I'm going to add up these. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 10 is 16. That's the sum. It's going to be 16 divided by how many do I have? 3. Right? So let's try that. Let's give that a shot. Where am I at here? Let's get out of this. There we go. All right, so here we go. I think I have some. There we go. Okay. All right, so
16.3 part of it.
let's see where's. Okay, here we go. Let me comment on some other things here. Sorry. Okay, right here. There we go. There we go. All right, so I've got a big program here. So but this is just the part I want you guys to see. Oh, length, not count.
Okay.
Length, my bad. I don't know what
Is
count.
it LEN or
LEN, yeah, LEN.
Okay.
My bad. The sum divided by the length. I don't know if count will work. Okay, so let's try it. So I've got a little program here. I've written it right here. You guys can see it. I defined my function called average. I called mine args1. And the other thing I screwed up on is like, you don't put the stars inside here.
Only the first one?
Only in the parameter list. Yeah.
Parameters, not the arguments?
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be the word args. It could be whatever you want. I'm using args1.
I always
So-
prefer that word.
So let's debug this. I'm going to put a breakpoint right here, and I'm going to run a line at a time. Okay, so let's debug the Python code. Run and debug. Okay. All right. So now I've got this other little menu up here. I'm going to step through it, and I'm going to print the average of 5 and 10 first. So it printed 7.5. That sounds about right. 15 divided by 2. Okay, let's print the next one. 5, 10, and 15, that's 30 divided by 3, so it'd be 10, right? Yeah? And the next one is 30 plus 20 is 50 divided by 4. What, 12.5? That sound right? Yeah, okay, so you guys can see that by defining it like this, with this star, it lets me put any number of arguments in here. Here I put 2, here I put 4, I could put a whole bunch more. Okay? Oops. Hang on. Somebody trying to get in. Yeah, make sure you guys log in. Okay, so is everybody kind of following this? It's a new way to specify any number of arguments. It's kind of it's an easy shortcut, which is kind of nice.
Do you see a syntax error, Abigail? Do you see a syntax error?
Okay. And then Okay, so we got that figured out. That's arbitrary argument list. Let's look now at methods. So we've been learning about functions, right? We're writing our own functions, do our own things, right? We've written an average function. We've written functions called get hot dogs. But now we want to talk about methods, which are built in and they belong to objects. And they're already built in. So we're going to try this right now. So here's a string, and I'm setting it equal to, or S, I'm setting it equal to the capital letters hello. If I say S dot lower, that's one of the functions or the methods that's available to the string, and it will print out the lower case version of that, okay? I could say upper, and that converts everything to upper. I could put capitalize, that just capitalizes the first letter. And then we have some other ones that return true or false. S dot is alpha. That says, is it only alphabetic characters in that string? Like this would be true. So I'm going to try these things right now and show you how they work. So these are called methods instead of functions, and they're built in. Let me close this debugger. Let me just open my terminal. Let's make this full screen. It's okay. Get out of here. Okay. Okay, let's open a Python terminal. There we go. Let's set S equal to capital hello. Okay, so we know we got S there. So S has some methods. We can say S dot lower. And we have to call the function with two left and right parens. Okay? So S dot lower converted all the uppercase to lower. It's pretty nice. Now, do you guys think it changed S? Is S still all, if I look at the value of S, is it still uppercase, or did it, do you think it changed it? What do you think?
I feel like it's gonna be the same because we didn't set S equal to anything.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. What do you think, Wolfie?
I think lower just in that instance will convert it all to lowercase.
Yeah, so you think S is still uppercase hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you guys are right. Let's just type in S here and see what comes out. Yeah, so S is still hello. Okay. Let's do S dot capitalize. So that just capitalizes the first letter, which is pretty cool, right? Just capitalize the H. Let's try S dot is alpha. This is asking a question. It's saying, in S, are they all alphabetic characters? Oh, that's true. Okay.